We are very, very honored, and everybody is so touched to have here with us Swami Veda Bharati. Nobody who watches this film can see it, but behind this camera, everybody is looking with open heart. And we are honored. He has just given a wonderful talk here at the Sarva Yoga conference. And we want to ask a few questions because this film will be seen by thousands of people. And he can give wonderful messages for everybody. Do you think that yoga can really help us to bring peace to earth?
The path of yoga is path of interior peace. If every individual seeks that peace within, then the collective peace is naturally bound to follow. The idea of meditation is that our own minds, each individual mind, should come to peace. And that is done by practicing correct breathing, correct diet, correct position of the body, and especially purifying our thoughts, our emotions, washing our angers off. When we practice meditation, our angers get washed off very naturally, effortlessly. And when each individual person will wash off his anger and his negativity and his hostility, then the whole society will be free of these hostilities and negative feelings that we are experiencing at this time. And this is not something merely in theory. We have hundreds of examples in history when the peaceful sages and philosophers have brought reconciliation to people who were at war with each other and who have stopped, actually managed to stop many wars in the past, and it can happen also in future.
Many people think, is peace really possible here on our planet? Do you think it's a yes?
Whatever we decide that we want to happen, we make it possible. It is not a predestination, it is our intention. If it is our intention, it will happen. We have to be clear of our intentions. And if our intention is to have peace on the earth, there has to be first our intention to have peace in the mind. And the way to attain that peace of the mind is taught in the practices of yoga.
More and more people are practicing yoga here in Italy, in Europe, in America, in the West. But very few have an understanding of the value of the rishis, the power that comes through the rishis. Is there some word of advice you can give to them?
As I was speaking to the group here a moment ago, and I was so happy that such a large crowd of 400, 500 people sitting and listening and contemplating, and I found them responding when I spoke of the long history from which the present practices of yoga are derived. But the form in which the present yoga is practiced is very limited. It is only a very, very small part of a vast science of mind, the existence of which is not even yet suspected by those whose specialty is to study mind. In fact, your yoga will be more successful when in your mind you pay grateful homage to those by whose grace this knowledge has so far come to us. When we make it only our personal effort, then we are left on our own. Then we do not allow those natural forces of universal consciousness to help us. And the rishis, the sages who brought the knowledge of yoga to the earth, they are representatives of that universal consciousness. We must, all of us who are practicing yoga, should connect our minds to them and should do so in grateful, humble homage.
If we would just imagine that one of these ancient great rishis would come here today, seeing modern society with all its troubles, what do you think would their main message be?
As I was saying a little earlier, what we call modern society today, people 1500 years from now will call this ancient society. So these words like ancient and modern have no meaning. I believe in that perennial truth, perennial force that runs through all of the times equally, in one form or another. It showed itself to the Greeks in one form, in one language. It showed itself to the Jews in one form and a different language. It also showed itself to the ancient Chinese and to the Tibetans and to the people of India. And I have recently, in my travels through Africa, found signs of such deep spiritual knowledge. Someday I want to have some helpers who can help me write my book on meditation in world cultures. So this is perennial. It is not limited to any specific time, any specific continent, any specific country, or any specific religion.
India has such an incredible spiritual past, so deep spirituality, maybe like no other country. But if we watch India today, if I travel today to India, everybody's looking to the West, everybody's trying to money, television and everything. What is this message you're giving being heard in India?
You know, India is a very misleading country. It is layers upon layers upon layers of culture that have accumulated over the past thousands of years. And I'd like to share one thought that I always have between European culture and the Indian culture. In the Western culture, the old always gives way to the new. The new removes the old and takes its place. In the history of the culture of India, the new comes alongside the old. And the old and the new continue, even as you see on those chaotic roads of India. The modern cars and the bullock carts are going both at the same time. This is the real picture of India. So with all the TV and all the modern technology and everything, there are even now thousands of people who are renouncing, who reach the epitome of their success, for example, in computer science, and then something rises in them and they come to our ashrams and say, now I have seen enough and I want to follow the spiritual path. So that is still continuing. You know, you have to go to the right place to meet those people. So it's not lost. It's continuing very much, and I'm so happy that it has happened.
Thank you, Swamiji, not only from me, but from so many people who are listening.